Here we go with week 19 of On Top the Cage. The regular season has ended. We're on to Super Wild Card Weekend, which means a 3-day wild card round, but we're not ready to talk about football.
It sucks for you.
What's that?
How are you going to watch games on Saturday?
I don't do anything. What do you mean?
Well, okay, the 4:30 game, the Browns, the best game on this weekend is on NBC.
I'll argue with that.
You
but anyway.
DirecTV.
I do. DirecTV is in a pissing contest, I think, which is what Dan's alluding to, right?
Yeah.
We ordered Peacock so we can get NBC. That's not a problem for us.
You pay the subscription to get Peacock. So you get that game automatically?
We do, and there's a big uproar in regards to the nightcap on Saturday, which is exclusively on
I'm like,
Peacock.
dude, you're going to have to get the freaking antenna. You could have saved $6.
The antenna, yeah, no. I tell you what, man, when I grew up, very rural Illinois, very rural. 3 channels, baby. 3 channels, and we had to turn that dial and make the antenna on the roof like go different directions, and the shit was still fuzzy. Man, fuck, that's a long time ago, but yes, we've got it figured out. We will be able to watch all the games. We'll certainly talk about that, and we'll get everybody situated in regards to where the games are, when they're played, what channels are on, all that good stuff.
Telemundo.
Yeah, no. Dude. I do like those Mexican announcers, the Mexican or Spanish announcers, I guess I should say.
Flacco!
Yeah, Flacco! Go! Flacco! Yeah, all that good stuff. So, anyway, set change, I guess. This door's never down. But it's windy tonight. We've had a lot of wind. Dan, did you know that they have names for the winter storms as well? I didn't think that was
insane. Well, I think we're on Finn now or something.
Yeah, Finn and then Jerry.
Jerry?
Yeah, G. Jerry with a G. Fuck
Jerry
Jerry,
with a
man.
G must be a girl.
Maybe, but
or a non-binary. It's a non-binary storm.
Oh God. I didn't know that there were names for winter storms.
I don't know. I think that's how they track them. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I knew there was names for the tropical storms that turn to hurricanes and things like that. But I didn't know they had names for winter storms.
Why do they call it Tuesday?
Okay, well, that's not a topic that we're going to get into. What does that mean? What does that even mean?
The day of the week.
I know. Okay, you're questioning nothing, and I don't know what you're questioning.
Why do they have to name everything?
So they know what the fuck day it is.
That's what I said. Call it Tuesday or whatever. Wednesday. What's today? 1:10.
I suppose. I don't know. We're a little bit off track. But weather, yeah. It's been windy here, like really windy. And it's been cold, and then we had a warmer day.
I don't think it's been cold. It's like 34 degrees out right now. But the 15-mile-an-hour wind that's constant, that's what makes it cold.
And we had wind through the weekend, and then starting late this weekend and going into next week, we had that polar vortex thing, which I think is Jerry. Fuck Jerry, man. Like cold like a motherfucker here. Like lows like up 0, like nothing, and things like that. So we'll deal with it, but that's the weather portion. Your weather update here from Northeast Ohio, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, I don't have a lot written on this intro board, but
well, let's get to the beer then.
No, really? Right away? All right,
yeah,
do beer. Let's do it.
I need a beer while I'm talking.
I hear you.
North High Hopes.
North High Brewing Company. It's called Hopes.
Out of Columbus, Ohio.
And it's a 12-ounce beer. Usually I do what Dan calls pounders, but 16-ounce beers, I tell you, I'm running out of them completely. I picked it because of the name, Hopes. And we got 14 teams left in the tournament, and they all have hopes.
His team is there next year.
They have hopes of winning a Super Bowl and raising the Lombardi Trophy, which is in Las Vegas. We are on the road to Allegiant Stadium, which is where the Super Bowl is. The playoffs start. It's super fun. I'm looking forward to it. I will miss football. You know, I hate all the culmination. I hate the culmination of the college football season and everything else. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a bit.
No, there's not a lot on this can. 6.8% alcohol in here. Out of
Sunday
Columbus.
morning. Sunday
morning.
morning.
The little message on here says, remember hanging out with your friends. Rooftop drinking. I don't do that. I hang out in the garage and drink.
That's right.
Until dawn. Usually it's not till dawn.
I think.
Don't worry, we don't remember either, but we should do it again sometime.
Very sentimental. It is a West Coast IPA. I think that means tropical IPA. I don't know. You can see the color of the beer.
Is that what it means, West Coast?
I think that means tropical. I don't know.
Liberal?
Goodness. It's called North High Brewing, though, because it started on North High Street, I think.
It's very light for an IPA. And you could probably pound a couple of these.
Yeah, I may. I mean, well, the show's probably been short. We only have 6 games to pick. I mean, we only got 6 games in the wild card round. We got 3 days of football. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But we're not going to talk about that yet. How was your weekend, Dan? What'd you do?
Undecorated.
You down completely?
Yeah, it's all down inside. My wife wanted it done on Saturday, and I'm like, I'd rather do the outside stuff on Saturday because it's supposed to be rainy and crappy. That got nixed. So did all the inside stuff. Then when I was done doing that, I took all the cords, all the stuff, all the technical shit out. So I just had to get the lights done Sunday.
Is there any evidence of Christmas left at your house right now?
Only the Bud Light fridge I got, baby.
His prized present from Santa Claus. Very good. Yes, we got the last remnants out too this past weekend. The forest tree. It went out late during the week. Well, it went out Saturday.
Where's that baby at? Down in the woods?
In the back property, yes. I trudged through the leaves and everything else that blow back there, but yeah, it was quite the chore. I mean, obviously, Case take all those. It's got to be 1,000
ornaments off.
1,000 fucking sand dollars on. It's got to be. It was the best big tree we ever had.
That was a nice tree.
She's like cutting all the limbs down. I mean, there was like 6 feet of tree left out of the 17 when I took it out, which was easy to take out. I mean, I took it out by myself, but there was all these limbs. We took them. We put a sheet down, like some sheet we weren't gonna fucking use, and I put all these limbs on. I drug it all the way. It worked fairly well, frankly. So we're completely down with that. I didn't do much else.
You need a chipper right outside the front door and just
I do not need a fucking chipper, man.
mulch.
Yeah, I don't need a chipper. I don't know. Yeah, we didn't do a whole lot. I know you have your traditional date night, right?
Yeah,
Dan?
we went out.
Sam's Rural Gardens?
Oh, yeah, got Bud Light on tap. I sent you the picture. I was like, holy shit. Christmas keeps coming.
They have never had Bud Light on tap before.
Nah, normally there it's it's in a bottle.
What was on tap there? Did they always have the 2 taps?
Truth is on tap.
Always there. Standard.
Pabst is on tap.
PBR me ASAP.
2 usual ones, and then she said some regular wanted Bud Light on tap, and I'm like, wait, what? I could request.
That's not.
Beer,
are you sure you're not the person
like,
that is the regular?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, when all the Bud Light stuff was happening, and it was, you should drink it. Everybody in that bar was drinking Bud Light in a bottle. I took a picture. There was every guy in the bar. There was like 8 guys, and 7 had Bud Lights. 1 guy had a Coors Light.
Yeah. Dan, you've been there enough. I mean, you said they've always had Truth on tap. There's 2 taps there. I'm assuming that other tap was always.
There's actually 4 taps there, but you can't. It doesn't look. She has 4 taps, but she only has beer in 2 of them.
Oh, got it.
Because where the handles are. That's why you don't realize that there's 4 taps.
And it used to be Truth and Pabst, and now it's Truth and Bud Light. Is that correct?
No, the Pabst is still there.
All right. We got an upgrade. Fuck, I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. We got an upgrade. But Dan has traditional date night on Saturday, right? It's a traditional thing, right?
Yeah.
Dan, you got a fucking conflict this Saturday. Have you worked this out already?
Oh, it's already worked out. My daughter moved out, got a new place. She invited everybody over to come see her new place.
Which is a half a mile from Dan's.
Not even a half a mile. Shit, I could walk there.
You're right. You're a quarter mile, maybe.
Not even a quarter mile.
All right, fucking fine. It's close.
But whatever. Brand new freaking apartment complex. She's in there and wanted everybody to come over and see it. So she invited everybody over to come over on Saturday. And I had texted her, and I'm like, your little invite has now become a Browns watch party. So instead of being there at 5, I'm going to be there early.
All right, yeah. So everybody goes there, checks out the new digs that your daughter has moved into, and then you're going to mosey your way back if you even have to walk, apparently.
Yeah.
So
I'll be there for the game.
You'll be in the garage.
If Tammy wants to leave and go do her thing, and that's fine. I'm either going to be at my daughter's place or stumbling home.
Dan's watching the Browns fucking football game regardless, and it's going to be at someone's residence, whether or not his daughter's new digs are probably more likely his. How about that candle? You going to light that candle? What do you know?
The candle's bad luck.
The Browns candle?
Good when I do.
What the fuck? I got Dan this awesome candle that lights up, man. It lights up. Well, it just has the brown stripes, right? Is that what the Browns candle is?
It's orange with the stripes.
Yes,
it's a very cool candle. I do like the candle, but they don't play good when the candle's on.
Shit.
I got to blow it out.
That's funny.
I've blown it out every time I've lit it.
That's funny.
Because I got to change the mojo.
I hear you.
So I don't like the frickin' thing.
Well, sports news in the National Football League. Michigan won the national championship. That was on Monday. Fishing reared their head again in that game, if you ask me.
How do they have an ACC crew do that game?
I mean,
the worst football conference in the country for college football gets to do the national championship game.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Florida State got screwed, so you're going to have an ACC crew do the game? Okay.
I don't know if that's the reason or not. I hear what you're saying, but there was a couple of holding calls that happened or not. One call that went against Washington on a pretty big play that may have come close to tying the football game, and then Michigan scored on a play where it looked like there was blatant holding by the Michigan offensive line. But in any event, I don't want to talk about officials too much. That was that. We had Black Monday in the National Football League. I think we have 7 coaching vacancies open right now.
No, wait. We have to talk about yes, but we got to talk about the biggest one: Nick Saban retiring right before we went on the set. I mean, that's huge. All the SEC honks out there, Teddy. You got to be freaking happy as hell. You're probably drinking, celebrating that Nick Saban is gone from college football.
I'm not.
Unbelievable.
He's been a staple for a very long time, and we'll see what that is. Breaking news. He's decided to retire. I think retire. I don't think he's going somewhere else or going to take.
Maybe he's taking one of these NFL jobs.
Maybe they're open. There's 7 of them, like I said. I think the most shocking one, Dan, was Mike Vrabel, Tennessee, who
out of the blue.
I think is a great coach. I got a great fucking coach. And Bud Adams ran that show for a very long time, and he passed away, and his daughter has control. I think it was a solo decision. That she's obviously not a football person. There will be a line for Mike Vrabel services going forward, and we'll see. And the natural fit for Vrabel, frankly, is New England. But we haven't heard word out of New England or from Robert Kraft what's going to happen exactly with Bill Belichick. I know there was a question whether or not, hey, give up, some of the complete authority that he had when he was, not only buying the groceries, but also, cooking the meals, if you will, as a head coach. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but he's an obviously perfect fit. He's a perfect fit anywhere. I mean, there will be a line for his services, for sure.
Without a doubt.
So, anyway, that happened. I told you, I promised you, as we go into the playoffs, I would play back the season prediction show.
Wait, are we still talking about all the coaches?
You want to talk some more? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, what the hell? You 7 coaches. Pete Carroll's out?
Yeah, Pete Carroll's out. The venerable Pete Carroll, who's, I want to say, 70-some years old as well.
72.
So he is. So is Nick. Nick's 72, too. I saw it today.
Well, I mean, we went through the list. Let's see. There's
a lot of openings.
Carolina.
Oh, there's a ton of them, Dan. All right, he's going to make me look backwards.
Seattle.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a board back here, a Bud Light logo with
Washington.
all the teams on. Yeah.
The Raiders, the Chargers, the Titans.
Maybe New England.
Are up in the air. Steelers. Do we want to talk about the Steelers?
Yeah, let's talk about that. There's a lot of rumors, regardless of what happens necessarily on Sunday in Buffalo and Pittsburgh. There's some rumors that Mike Tomlin may be out, or not out, may want out, or it's getting stale in Pittsburgh. There would be a line for his services as well. The guy's never had a fucking losing season in his 17-year coaching career, or the fuck it's been.
Could you imagine him going to the Raiders?
And then Vrabel's a perfect fit in Pittsburgh. Just the mentality, all that I gotta say is a perfect. I mean, there's a line for Vrabel. There would be a line for Mike Tomlin as well.
Dan Quinn in Seattle.
Yeah, natural fits. Dan's a coach at heart. Dan wants to talk about the coaching stuff. I get it. I mean,
yeah,
he's coached at multiple levels.
Let's talk about the shit show that's going on in Chicago.
The Bears decided to retain their head coach, Matt Eberflus, but fire the entire offensive staff. They did not really have a defensive staff because the defensive coordinator, Alan Williams, got dismissed like week 4. I don't know. There was some weird, indiscretions.
Raid.
Yeah, some weird indiscretions, obviously. The Bear defense played better when Matt Eberflus, the head coach, was making the calls, but it also strongly correlated with their acquisition of Montez Sweat, a pass rusher. But anyway, I don't know what the Bears are going to do. They own the number 1 draft pick. I'm glad Dan brought it up. There are some people who watch this show to hear my Bears perspective. The fact that the Bears retained Matt Eberflus as head coach and fired their offensive staff, I have no fucking idea if JF1 is going to be the quarterback going forward or if they're going to draft a quarterback. I don't know. It's very difficult symmetry, if you ask me. I think it's very difficult for the Bears to get a very good or viable offensive coordinator with potentially a lame duck coach in Matt Eberflus. I think if the Bears want a competent offensive coordinator and staff, they probably have to extend Eberflus for another couple of years. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea. I don't think it's a vote of confidence for Justin Fields. I don't think it gains any momentum for the Bears drafting Caleb Williams overall.
How is it not a vote of confidence for Fields?
The fact that they fired Getsy?
Yeah.
How is it a vote of confidence? I guess I don't know. I don't think.
Do you think they're going to draft Caleb Williams? Because I don't. I would stay away from him.
My hunch is
totally stay.
My hunch is the Bears stay with Justin Fields and they grab a bounty for the number 1 pick overall again. If the Bears do decide to deal Justin Fields, Caleb Williams will 100% be the pick. I have no question about that. Drake May, Jaden Daniels are the other options in regards to the quarterback position, but we'll see. So that was Black Monday, and it's always intriguing. And Dan, there'll probably be a little bit more clear.
How about the shit show in New York? We got to talk about that. Wink Martindale going, see ya!
Oh, he's talking about the New York Giants. That's right. Wink Martindale, the defensive... Dan fucking loves coaching shit. Wink Martindale, the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. Him and Brian Daboll got into it as the head coach. Wink Martindale didn't resign. He basically told Brian Daboll to fuck off and caught a flight to Florida for some sun and some drinks.
Well, Daboll fired his 2 twin buddies.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I didn't see all of it. Dan loves the coaching shit. I've said it like 4 times already. I know.
Didn't tell Martindale that he was doing it. Fired these 2 fucking guys.
Where did Wink Martindale come from?
Baltimore.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So
he came Baltimore, and then he went with Daboll when Daboll got the gig.
Yeah.
In New York. So.
Well, he somehow left Baltimore. I don't know why he left. I mean, there was a mystery there.
Yeah.
Because Harbaugh let him go.
Fucking Harbaugh boys, man. Fucking Harbaugh boys. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh is going to, stay a Michigan man, as he likes to say, or go to the National Football League.
He's a Michigan man forever.
Did you stay awake and watch like the post game?
Fuck no! I wasn't watching those idiots celebrate. There's no fucking way.
I did.
No!
I did. And you know what? Jim Harbaugh's a fucking weirdo, if you ask me. Like, he said weird shit. Like, I don't know. Like, bizarre shit to me. I don't know.
He said it to you?
No, not to me. Like, he said it on the broadcast. It was bizarre. I thought the interviews and things like that. I don't know. I mean, he's a former Bear quarterback. I don't want Jim Harbaugh to be the head coach of the Chicago Football Bears. Obviously, it doesn't look like that's happening, and the Bears are going to retain Eberflus. But that's a lot of coaching bullshit. So, in the middle of this little segment when we were talking about coaching, and I don't want to cut off Dan because that's what we've gotten arguments before. Dan's a coach at high school level, PB level, all this other good stuff. He loves talking about it. So I didn't want to cut him off or anything like that, but we talked about it quite a bit. I was talking about our season prediction show, and I promise you I played them back. I did. I was wildly wrong. I'll start with me. I went with the Jets and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl with Philadelphia winning.
Bandwagon. Woo! Let's go.
I tell you what, the Jets, the Jets season ended on the 3rd play of the opening week when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. That didn't happen. Dan's Super Bowl picks were the Cleveland Browns and the San Francisco 49ers. Very good picks, and I pressed Dan. I'm like, really? Come on. Really? Pick another team. Pick another team besides the Browns. They're not going to the Super Bowl. I'm apologize immediately. And then, how about this fucking bullshit? Dan goes, the Steelers. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, that's a worse pick than the Browns. But meanwhile, Dan got the better end of this for sure, considering the teams that he picked. I'll give him 2 de facto teams on the AFC side in Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And then San Francisco on the other end. I got it all wrong. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the Jets are not in, and Philadelphia is limping into the playoffs, to say the least. But anyway, so.
Should I gloat?
No. Okay, you can if you want.
No, I'm done.
All right. I got a couple more questions before we get into football, but let's do last week's record. So, Dan went 9-7. He finished the regular season at 144, 122, and 6. That is plus 22, a very good record. No, with Chicago on his elephant pick, he ended up even 8-2 on the year.
Holy smokes!
So he didn't go under 500 at least, thank God. I'm the reason why there's not shots on the table right now. I went 8-8. I finished the regular season, probably my best regular season though. 149, 117, and 6, plus 32 on the year. I lost my elephant pick as well. I had New England. I didn't think there was any way that the New England Patriots would potentially lose that home game against the Jets, which was potentially Bill Belichick's last game in Foxborough. They did. They got kind of blown out in a snow game. I finished the season.
How'd the Rams get?
At 10-7-1. Go ahead. How'd the Rams what?
I had the Rams over the Giants.
That was the week before, buddy.
Last week?
No, it was the week before. You had the Rams. I forget who they were playing.
Who did I pick last
Rams played
week?
San Francisco last week. You did have the Rams over Giants. You're right about that, but it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, fuck.
You picked the Bears to beat the Packers last week. You did not have it.
Yeah.
So
that was disappointing.
Anyway, get another beer.
I am.
You didn't get it yet.
Are you in a hurry?
No, but I want to talk about other stuff before we really get into football. And that is, let's talk about this board, Dan, and the 14 teams that are in. Let's start with, who do you think the worst team is that is in the playoffs? Which team would you rank 14th in the playoffs?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's close. It was close for me. I think it's Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I think it's Pittsburgh, but I agree with Dan. Those were my 2 choices, Tampa Bay or Pitt. Dan, give me a dark horse team out of nowhere that could possibly win the whole thing.
Rams.
Yeah, I know, right? That's where I was going to. And I hate the fact that the first game we talked about, Cleveland-Houston, I think the winner of that football game is going to make some fucking noise, but they may have to go to Baltimore. Dark horse teams, Dan and I both love the Rams in regards, especially, the Rams, because I think they might have a little bit easier route out of this thing. I don't know. I mean, they're probably going to play San Francisco if they win. I don't know. We'll see about that. So it's a tough road for Cleveland or Houston, who are 2 teams that I really like. But we got some new blood. We got some new blood in the tournament this year. There are 4 teams that have never won the Super Bowl in the history of fucking
Cleveland,
football.
Detroit.
And there are 3 of them that are in. It is Cleveland,
Houston.
Detroit, and Houston have never won a Super Bowl. There's
Buffalo
only 4 teams.
has one.
I don't know what the other 4th team is.
Buffalo.
No. There's 4 teams that have never won. 3 of them are in a tournament. One of them's not in a tournament. I don't know which one the fucking is.
When did Buffalo win
Probably
the
Jags.
Super Bowl?
Probably Jags is the other team just thinking about it in regards to them becoming part of the league. Buffalo won. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know, man. That was
Buffalo was like for 3 years in a row.
They lost every fucking time, right?
Maybe
it's never a team made the Super Bowl. Maybe I miswrote it. The 4 teams that have never been in the Super Bowl, I bet, is what it was.
Cleveland, Detroit. Yeah,
and Houston, obviously.
Houston.
Right. It is the road.
Jacksonville had some teams with Coughlin. They
never made
the
it.
Super Bowl, though.
No, they didn't. But so I'm sure they're the 4th team in what we're talking about in regards
Buffalo's
to this.
been there several times and fucking lost.
We are on to football, I think. It is the road to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas is where the Super Bowl will be held, and we'll talk about all that going forward. But Great game on the board, man. Two teams that I really like as a dark horse, or I wish they weren't playing each other. I guess I'll put it that way. And like I said, football starts on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on NBC. It is on
regular NBC.
It is the Cleveland Browns traveling to play the Houston Texans. The Browns have been slated as 2.5-point favorites in this game. The Browns are the 5 seed in the tournament. They are the AFC North runners-up. Very good division. The AFC North put 3 teams in the fucking tournament out of 4 teams.
All 4 teams are over 500.
First time it's ever happened in National Football history. Yes, and that would be the Cincinnati Bengals that Dan mentions, who finished the regular season at 9-8, who Dan and I probably thought, I don't know if we picked them to win the division or not. I didn't play all that shit back.
I think that's, I probably might have picked the Browns, but Cincinnati.
It was hard to pick against. I mean, Joe Burrow quarterback, but they had an injury-marred season, and they're not on the board. But Cleveland, minus 2.5. They were the AFC North runners-up. They finished the regular season at 11-6. This is the second time in the past 20 years that the Browns make a playoff appearance. The local people are up in arms, man. They're ready to go, just like Dan is.
I've been wearing brown shit since, it's been 2 weeks.
Talk about your
brown stuff on.
Talk your shit. Talk about your football team.
Talk shit.
Well, last week they
play.
Last week they rested their players.
They rested everybody. I mean, there were dudes playing, and I was like, "Wait, how are the offensive line's different? The whole defense is different." I mean, I was like, "You had a 53-man roster. How do I not know these people that are playing?"
They were straight in playoff.
Unbelievable.
They rested like the entire team. They were straight in playoff mode. They got blown out in Cincinnati, but it doesn't really fucking mean anything. I mean, the Browns are going to bring to town, to H-Town, to Houston, arguably the best defense in the National Football League.
Well, they better freaking show up. I mean, they all should be rested. Good grief.
Those two teams have played. They played recently as well, 3 weeks ago.
They played, and I'll be the first to say this, that I never liked playing somebody twice. But to me, the team you played on Christmas Eve is not the team you're playing Saturday.
Because of?
Well, Stroud, there's some defensive players that were missing for Houston. I mean, it's a completely different team. So I take that shit out.
I agree. It was week 16 that they played. The final was Cleveland 36-22 in
that
Houston.
Receiver was out.
C.J. Stroud is the biggest piece that didn't play in the football game. I mean, obviously that's the main thing. But Dan saying certain players from Cleveland didn't play. There was other.
No, I'm talking about Houston's players that weren't. I mean, that Colin. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, this is probably Joe Flacco's 39, right? We know that. Everybody's all talked about Joe Flacco. 39 years old, right?
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
What's C.J. Stroud, 22? like a 17-year age difference. I mean, Joe Flacco could be C.J. Stroud's dad for all the fuck we know. I don't know. I mean, that's some crazy shit. And then we're talking about Houston, who is the 4 seed, and they are the AFC South winners. They basically played a de facto playoff game already. They played that game in Indianapolis and won that fucking game on the road, and then Jacksonville lost the following day on Sunday, making them the AFC South champs.
There's some crazy shit that had to happen for Houston to get in, for Pittsburgh to get in. I mean, crazy shit. So they won.
The crazy, I mean, it wasn't that far. I guess it wasn't. I mean, I don't know. We both thought Jacksonville was going to go to Tennessee and win. They didn't. They got kind of run over by Derrick Henry, and they had a really.
How about Jackson? They fired their whole defensive staff too.
Jacks? Yeah. I mean, change is coming. I don't know. With that football team, they were. I in the snippet that I played of the season prediction show, I was talking. I was talking some mad shit about Jackson. Maybe they have a chance to make it, type of thing. And I think Dan didn't necessarily disagree at the time, but obviously they had a really disappointing season. They were 8-3 at one point in time, and then really, really struggled down the stretch. But they're not on the fucking board. The Houston Texans are. Good for them. They are a very young team. They play with swag. Their head coach, rookie head coach, D'Amico Ryans, is excited. Dan, I'll tell you what, who's going to win NFL Coach of the Year? It's one of the coaches of these two teams, if you ask me. It's either Stefanski or D'Amico Ryan. I like it. Totally. I think Dan's right. The winner of this game probably wins NFL Coach of the Year.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, D'Amico Ryan's done a hell of a job.
Hell of a job.
I mean, that
Really?
team should have never been where they're at. And, I mean, it's just phenomenal how that team's played. They didn't have any weapons. And Cleveland, I mean, the injuries we've had, Stefanski, I mean, good grief. You had 5 different quarterbacks. You got your starting 2 offensive tackles gone. Backup, DeJuan Jones, looks like a starter anyways. He's gone. So, it's both these coaches have done a nice job.
They've done a great job. I mean, it's a battle of attrition in the National Football League, and the game we're going to talk about next is going to that whole battle of attrition is going to come up again. But we're not there yet. I mean, Houston, are they too dumb to be nervous?
Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going with the Browns.
I know.
If we're on this, I'm taking Cleveland.
I hate that they're playing each other because
I don't give a shit.
I hate that.
Play whoever.
I
I'm
love
taking
both
Cleveland.
these. I love both these teams in regards to make a little bit of noise. But obviously, I think probably the winner of this game ends up going to Baltimore, which is not going to be easy. Browns minus 2.5. I was leaning all week towards Houston.
Let's talk about Baltimore. How pissed are you, or if you're Baltimore, not you, that 2 teams made the playoffs from your division, and your opponent is either going to be Cleveland or Pittsburgh?
I don't think they're pissed at all.
Oh, come on.
Do you really? I mean, they're like, we kicked shit them all year. We'll fucking kick shit them again.
Cleveland beat them and Pittsburgh beat them.
Did they really?
Yeah.
They split?
Both teams
Both
beat
teams
them.
split?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. How about that? Well, I get it, what Dan's saying.
We beat them at their fucking place.
Here's the deal with this game, man. I want to pick Houston. I'm not going to. It's
And
a
if
Cleveland.
we come into town, we got Flacco, baby. Flacco fever.
He's really steady to ship for the Cleveland Brown football team. Here's the deal with the Browns. Don't turn the fucking football over, and you'll probably win the football game. Do you know that the Browns lead the National Football League in turnovers at 37?
Yep.
I mean, Flacco completes a lot of passes. Sometimes they're to the wrong fucking team.
That's because he's slinging it, because he's
fucking slinging it. They have a better defense. I don't know. I'm going to go Cleveland on this game. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it at all, but I'm going to lay it. It's less than a field goal. They have the better defense. I don't know. The Houston team plays with swag. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I probably mistimed my peeing because we were hanging out here for a long time, Dan. What, like an hour before we even shot the show? And then the next game on the board, I hate that you're going to bring it up, but it is Miami at Kansas City. Maybe I'll wait till the next football game and see if I can make it through it. That game is a nightcap on Saturday. It is at 8 p.m., and it is exclusively on Peacock, which is a streaming service. And there's a lot of people up in arms about this.
Do you have to go stream now?
Well played, Dan.
I can talk about this.
All right, good.
Shit.
But anyway,
Get the
Tom.
hell out of here.
Tom,
Go take a piss. I can talk about this
all
shit.
Right, let me do the TV thing exclusively on Peacock, which has a lot of people up in arms because they don't have that. Is that what all it is for a month?
Yeah.
I thought it was like $10.99 or $12.99.
No, it's $5.99.
We have Peacock right now because DirecTV, which is our local.
Oh wait, if Tom can get this because it's locally in his market. So if he's in Miami,
he may. We've already hooked him up though with our Peacock subscription because you can share that. We have Peacock here because DirecTV is our normal TV provider, and they've been in a pissing contest with NBC for quite a while. I think Dan actually brought it up in the intro portion of the show. But anyway, we have Peacock. We can share our subscription. Katie's working with that already. Dan,
I won't watch the Miami Kansas City game because I ain't paying $5.99.
Well, you can come over here, buddy.
Yeah, no,
Right,
I'm not doing it.
on introducing the game. I'll be right back.
The streaming shit, I think it's the worst freaking thing. We're the fans. I'm not paying the $5.99. Screw it. It's one game. Huh?
More than that.
It's $5.99 for a month.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like $10.99 or $12.
Now, it was well, maybe they upped the price because, now we're in the playoffs. But, hey, both these teams, weather's going to be a factor in this one. I think the high Saturday night is going to be 8 degrees. So you got a team from Miami coming up to play in Kansas City. And, hey, Miami's hurting. They're missing some people. Kansas City's offense stinks.
They're doing great.
Matt Nagy, he's the offensive coordinator. The offense for Kansas City's never looked worse. I can understand why Chicago got rid of Matt Nagy. Maybe Kansas City should get that dude back from Washington. What's his name? Bieniemy?
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, he's coming back. He'll be back on the staff next year for Kansas City. The shit's going to be turned around. But this game here, this is going to be a train wreck here.
We're not anywhere close to picking a game. It is the 6th seed, the Miami Dolphins, traveling to Arrowhead. Miami finished the season 11-6. They lost their game last week at home in Buffalo, which would have changed their seeding completely. They would have been a 2 seed if they had won the football game. They
would
did not.
Playing in Miami.
They would have been playing in Miami against Pittsburgh if they had won the football game. They are not. They got to go play the defending champs in Arrowhead. Kansas City is the 3 seed in the tournament. They are the AFC West winners. Kansas City is also -4 in this football game. Talking about Miami, I feel
defense is beat up.
I feel really bad for the in-laws team because
beat up.
You talk about a banged up football team, a fucking banged up football team, man.
I'm not no. My football team's banged up, and we've survived. Your football team's banged up, and you're fucked up.
Yeah,
the cupboard's bare.
You lost a
we've
test
survived.
It's crazy though, and Tua was the biggest injury concern going into this season for the Miami Dolphins because he had all his concussion problems last year, right? He's played every football game, but their defense is absolutely destroyed. Jalen Phillips went out mid-season. Bradley Chubb went out a week or two ago. Van Ginkel, who was going to step in that place, that Adonis-looking motherfucker, like crazy, like rabbit dude who runs around, out. They signed like dudes off the street, like veteran dudes like Bruce Irvin and Justin Houston. Like, fuck, man, somebody come here and help us out. Help.
Well, they had somebody on the team that I didn't. Who's that guy from the Chargers?
A defensive guy?
Yeah.
Justin Houston? I don't know. They signed him. They signed Bruce Irvin. I don't know who else they signed.
They had another guy on the team because when he went in the game, I was like, shit, I didn't know he was on the team. Why isn't he playing?
Right. I mean, I don't know. They do get a couple of their offensive pieces back. I think Raheem Mostert's going to play in the game. I think Jalen Waddle's going to play in the game. And let's not discount this offense. It's the best offense in the National Football League. I don't think there's any two ways about that. Tyreek Hill gets his second chance at his former team. These two teams played.
Yeah, in England or Germany?
In Frankfurt, Germany. They played. It was week 9. Kansas City won the football game 21-14. Miami couldn't get anything going and got some things going late. But, I mean, once again, it's in Germany. And Dan mentioned the cold, man, a factor. I saw a thing from the South Florida Sun Sentinel, which is the paper down there in Miami, I believe. And it said the Miami Dolphins have never won a playoff football game when the kickoff temperature is 46 degrees or less. It's going to be
8.
About, 46 degrees less than 46 degrees. It's going to be about fucking 0 when they play in Arrowhead in Kansas City. I don't know. And then let's talk about Kansas City. They are the defending champs. But a team that's kind of muddled through the season. I mean, 11-6 is not a shabby record, don't get me wrong. They rested their players last week. They won in Los Angeles. It's not a non-factor. But they continue to struggle on offense. And the Rashee Rice kid has kind of emerged as the best wide receiver.
Is he even playing?
Yeah, he's playing. Kelsey's playing. I tell you what, Peacock's money, man. All the fucking Swifties, they're going to buy their Peacock subscription, whether or not it's $5.99 or if I think it's like $12.99.
That's so stupid, just to see a picture of her sitting in a luxury box.
They're fucking nuts, man. They're fucking nuts. Kansas City -4 in this football game. Do we got other things we want to talk about these football teams before we pick them?
No, I'm not ready to pick because I honestly don't know who I'm going.
I'm going to go first. The fucking Dolphins have a way better offense. Way better offense. I know that their defense is banged up. I know that. But Kansas City's offense hasn't done shit. They haven't done shit in the last 6 weeks of the football season. I have no reason to believe it won't happen again. Here's what's going to happen. The Dolphins are going to find a way to get the lead late, and Jalen Ramsey's going to finish the fucking game when Patrick Mahomes throw some wild fucking ball up in the air trying to win it, and they're going to win. They're going to win the fucking football game and most likely have to go to Baltimore next week.
Man, it's funny you said that because I was leaning that way. If Mostert's playing, I'm run the ball. Kansas City's defense, you can run the ball against, according to me. And, I'm going with Miami.
I like the points, man. I mean, I think they have a chance to come out of Arrowhead with a W. I don't know if they do, but 4 is way too much for me. I think this is a really tight football game.
So, after this game, could there be another coaching vacancy? Could Andy Reid retire?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll talk about the next game. And Dan and I were talking about before we went on the set about Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Pittsburgh, they found a way to get into the tournament. They play in Buffalo. Dan, how far away is Pittsburgh from Buffalo? I bet it's still a couple hundred miles.
It's got to be like two. I think.
Yeah.
No different from here in Cleveland.
It doesn't seem that it's
Pittsburgh.
it's got to be a couple hundred miles, don't you think? Yeah. All right. Anyway, Pittsburgh is the 7th seed. They got into the tournament. We'll talk about how they got into the tournament in a bit. And then Buffalo is a 2 seed. Buffalo is a monster favorite. They are -10 in this football game. That's a full touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal favorite. I mean, that's a big number for the playoffs. Pittsburgh, they finished the regular season 10-7. They had to go into Baltimore last week and win, and then they needed help. They got the help when the Jacksonville Jaguars lost in Music City in Tennessee, in Nashville. So they're there. Mason Rudolph is the quarterback going forward. Kenny Pickett's 100% healthy, but Mason Rudolph has kind of sparked this team, I guess. Dan's probably going to argue about it. I think he'd hear me even though this door is down for an unprecedented first time, I believe. But I like the offense better under Mason Rudolph. There's been more deep shots that have been taken. George Pickens is more involved. Deontay Johnson, who they have very good wide receivers, are more involved. And you got to take shots. I mean, the Pittsburgh offense under Matt Kent never took fucking shots. And it didn't seem like Kenny Pickett was willing to really let it go either. Mason Rudolph certainly isn't afraid to let it go. So that's good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One thing that really hurts them that happened in the Baltimore game.
TJ Watt.
You got it. One of the best defensive players in the National Football League. I mean, that really, really hurts that somewhat suspect defense. And then let's talk about Buffalo. Once again, they're -10 in this game, Dan. I would say they're a hot team. They won 5 games in a row. I mean, some of the performances haven't been great. I didn't think the performance in Miami was great, but they found a way to win. Here's the thing. They finished 11-6, AFC East winners. Obviously improved their playoff seeding position tremendously with that win in Miami. The thing with this team is they need to avoid turnovers as well, just like your team does. Your team, the Cleveland Browns, led the National Football League in turnovers, but Josh Allen is still reckless with the fucking football. I mean, he kept the Dolphins in that football game. I don't know if you watched that game on Sunday night, but he threw a pick in the end zone. He threw another pick. I mean, he kind of single-handedly kept the Finns in that football game where they had a chance to win. It didn't happen.
They lost that receiver with an ankle injury.
Buffalo?
Yeah. Singleton? No, that was the running back that they don't have anymore. No.
The primary receiver, Gabe Davis.
Yes.
Big game Gabe. Big game Gabe. I don't know if he's playing or not.
I think he's out.
He did. Really? I mean, that guy has a tendency to show up in big games. I mean, obviously Stephon Diggs is wide receiver 1 in Buffalo, and they have that guy, that Shakir guy or whatever the fuck guy who plays in the slot. But Gabe Davis missing is a piece missing. They've been very good at home. Buffalo has been 7-1 on the season. Dan, they're going to blow the Steelers out?
No. Buffalo's exhausted. Buffalo had to win these games. The last 5 games, they had to win.
They've been playing playoff football for a while,
yes.
what Dan's saying.
I mean, this team has been under fire for the last 5 weeks.
A lot of pressure.
They made it. And here come the Steelers. And the Steelers always squeak out a freaking win.
Do you think the Steelers are going to win this fucking football game?
I think they do.
You think the Steelers win this football game?
Yeah.
Holy hell, are you kidding me?
No. I'm not impressed with Buffalo. And the Steelers, for some reason, are peaking. Their offense all of a sudden came alive. And Buffalo, I'm telling you, Buffalo, they make mistakes. They're not a disciplined team. They fired the offensive coordinator in the middle of the season. McDermott took over defense. The defense hasn't been playing good. No. I mean, I think their goal was to make it into the playoffs, and they're relieved they're there.
I hear everything Dan's saying. This is a very experienced
If
playoff.
Buffalo wins, it's not going to be by 10.
It's a very experienced Buffalo football team. Very experienced playoff football team. I think they blow them the fuck out. I think Pittsburgh may be the worst team in the playoffs. I think they're the 14. I really do. I think they're the worst team in the fucking playoffs. I do not. Buffalo has a lofty seed at 2. They may not deserve.
Wild card Saturday.
Yeah.
Wild card weekend, baby.
Yeah. I kind of hope Dan's right and that we have an awesome football game. I mean, I love games that go down wire. I think Buffalo's going to blow them out. I'm laying the entire nut at 10. That was Sunday, 1 p.m. start. That game, by the way, is on CBS. The middle game on Sunday. We have 3 games on Sunday. It starts at 4:30. It is on Fox. It is the Green Bay Packers traveling to Big D to play the Dallas Cowboys. Green Bay got the last seed in the tournament on the NFC side. They are the 7 seed. Dallas won the NFC East. They are the 2 seed. Green Bay finished the season 9-8. They got in by beating the Chicago Bears. Did I mention the line? Dallas is just over a touchdown favorite. Dallas 7.5 point favorite in this football game. Green Bay 9-8, like I just said. They beat the Bears at home. They find a way, and I'm not going to talk about the Bears anymore. We talked about enough of them kind of in the intro. Jordan Love's played pretty well down the stretch. Like the last 6 games or so, he's played pretty well. And they got this cast of characters, at wide receiver in these positions.
Yeah, is that Watson dude out still?
I think he may be back for this game. This is his second, year in the National Football League. But they got a kid named, what the fuck is that guy's name? Jalen Reed, or Jaden Reed is his name. A guy named Wicks that catches the ball. There's a tight end named Tucker Kraft. They got all these young kids, at the wide receiver positions. But I watched their game, obviously, their entire game last week against the Bears. Aaron Jones appears to be healthy for that football team.
Really freaking good.
Right? Yeah, you saw it locally, I guess, right? A key for that.
Yeah, I was watching that one, yeah. Chicago and Green Bay, shit, yeah.
Obvious.
Other choice was Dallas and whoever the fuck they were playing.
Well, you got 2 games. Obviously the key for the Packers is going to be able to run Aaron Jones, I think, to keep that Dallas offense off the field. Because I don't think the Packer defense is very good. And then you got Dallas. Dallas, my 7.5 game. This is a Mike McCarthy revenge game, right? Mike McCarthy, the longtime head coach of the Green Bay Packers. He's been in Dallas for what, like a half a decade now, probably at least 5 years, probably, if not more. Sound right?
Yeah.
And Dallas, 12-5. They are the NFC East winners. They went into the nation's capital and absolutely, is that? Yeah, they smoked Washington. That was that. Yes. I didn't write that on the board, but anyway, they went in there. They were runaway winners. Their offense, it's stacked. CeeDee Lamb is emerging as an unstoppable force. He scores touchdowns week in, week out. This team's very good at home. They're 8-0 at home on the season, Dan, and they've won home games by an average of 21 fucking points. That's a big fucking number. This is their 3rd straight playoff appearance. But this team, we mentioned them. I called them Jekyll and Hyde all year. They go to the playoffs and they pee down their pants, right?
Yep.
We got a game here, Dan. Is this going to be a football game?
I'm taking Dallas in this because Green Bay, to me, they squeaked in and we made it. Same thing with Buffalo. Same reaction. Dallas takes this one. I'll take Dallas in the 7.5.
I know they blow. I know.
Dallas is going to choke, but it ain't going to be in this game.
Yeah, I was Dallas the whole way, and now I'm thinking about this, and I saw how well Aaron Jones ran the football last week against a pretty good Bear defense that emerged late in the season. I think we have a football game. I think Dallas wins this football game. I think we got a football game here, and I'm rooting for football games, man. I love winner-go-home football games. The tighter the games are, the better for me. Even though it pains me a little bit, I'm going to take the Packers to be in this football game. I don't think they win, but I'm going to take them to get under the number of 7.5. The Sunday nightcap is the most intriguing game. I can't wait to see this fucking football game. My job does start on Monday morning. But anyway.
Take a COVID test.
Right, right? It is the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Motor City to play the Detroit Lions. The Rams are the 6th seed on the NFC side. The Detroit Lions are the 3 seed. The Detroit Lions are the NFC North winners. As a result, the 3 seed. The Rams, they were in a tournament for last week, and they kind of rested some of their players, didn't rest other players, whatever. They were guaranteed a spot. It was determined whether or not it was going to be 6 or 7 or where they were going to show up. They ended up being 6. They did win in San Francisco last week, but that's not really a true test in regards to what this team is. I think this team's a real threat in the NFC, Dan. Like a real fucking
scary.
threat. Like a real fucking threat.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago that I said, I'm like, I don't know, this team, they can run the ball. If Williams is healthy.
Carter's healthy. They rested him last week. He's 100% healthy.
Stafford can throw it. I mean, he's going to find people that are open.
Stafford and the kids, man. Stafford and the kids, right? Like, it's nuts.
I mean, I can't stand Matt Stafford.
The whole parade thing, Dan. Hate him ever since the parade thing.
He's a douche.
But meanwhile, look at this intrigue, Dan. I mean, that trade, I don't know how many years ago it was, 4 years ago, let's say. I don't know. Is that what it was? Something like that. The Stafford Goff trade. We trade quarterbacks. Detroit, we're going to give you some more shit. I don't know what that shit turned into, but
Goff
the Rams
hasn't been playing good, though, lately.
Boy, do they have fucking weaponry. I can't wait to talk about them. And here's the other thing. One more thing about the Los Angeles Rams. One thing that scares me about this football team, they don't have a reliable kicker. They literally switched their kicker again last fucking week. They waived a kicker and signed a different kicker. That's not fucking ideal when you're talking about close games and having a kicker where we're unsure about. So, but anyway, we both love the Rams. We love Matt Stafford. Well, didn't love Matt Stafford, but he's a veteran quarterback. He's a veteran fucking quarterback who's led a Super Bowl run and won a Super Bowl.
I kick him in the nuts.
They got young kids. Let's talk about Detroit. Number 3 seed behind their fiery head coach, Dan Campbell.
Love Dan Campbell.
Love Dan Campbell. Minus 3.5 in this football game, Dan, just over a field goal. I think the Detroit offense may have the best weaponry in football. I mean,
they do.
No, they don't. It's Miami when they're healthy, but they have great offensive weapons.
Goff, he can't be an idiot.
That's right. I mean, they got that tandem running back of David Montgomery, pounder, like hard-nosed motherfucking runner. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, like the firecracker, like he touches the ball, there's a chance he hits a home run every time, meaning gets to the end zone. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown. And, you got Jameson Williams, who's kind of emerging.
But you lost Laporta.
They did, I know. There's a question whether or not Laporta's going to play. Their rookie tight end, is Laporta out of Iowa? They're all fucking out of Iowa, right?
I don't
Fucking, every tight end comes out of fucking Iowa. Anyway, they got great weaponry. We'll see. Their defense has to play better. I mean, they won that game, I think, at home against Minnesota last week. They played the players like half the fucking time. I don't know. Minus 3.5 in this football game, Dan. I mean, this is a really intriguing football game to me. What do you think?
Man, this is a good one. I don't know.
I'm going to take the points with the Rams. I think this is down the fucking wire. I really do. Maybe Detroit wins it. Maybe it's a field goal at the very end. I think the safer betting play is the Rams getting the points.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. With the Rams. The Rams. Detroit's fallen off a little bit here. So
they haven't played that well down the stretch. I don't disagree with you.
I mean, since Thanksgiving, I haven't thought they played well. I'm going with the Rams too.
Dan are both taking the points, even though, I mean, I can't wait to watch that football game. Unfortunately, I hate it that it's a Sunday night at 8 p.m., but I understand why they put it there. It's on NBC.
On regular NBC?
It's on regular NBC. There's only one streaming game.
NBC's got 3 games this weekend.
Yeah, I told you that. My neighbor Brian, who always wants to know because he runs a pizza shop, and like, when the Browns gonna play? He's like, when the Browns gonna play next week? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know if the fucking Browns gonna play fucking next week. He wants to know exactly when they play, and I'm like, I know when teams are gonna play. I just don't know which teams they are. It's not a hard bracket, I guess, is what I'm saying here right now. It's a very fluid bracket, and the lowest seed in a tournament that's left plays the highest seed and things like that. So we don't know who's playing who. It's not like we know that if Cleveland wins a game, they're playing exactly this team. We don't know that. So in any event, Dan are both hesitantly taking the points. I think with the Los Angeles Rams, Super Wildcard Weekend ends on Monday night, which is fucking annoying to me too, I guess a little bit. But anyway, I'll be there.
That screws you for the next week. Because there ain't going to be a Monday night game. I don't know why they do this.
No, it's the only round of the playoffs where we'll have a weekday game, if you will, on Monday. And it is the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is on Monday, 8 p.m., ESPN. Philadelphia is a 3-point favorite in this football game. Philadelphia finishes the season 11-6 on the season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are mercifully the NFC South winners at 9-8. They are the 4 seed, so it's a 4v5. Philadelphia 3-point favorite once again on the road.
That's how fucking pirate works, baby.
Well, I have a feeling the cannon fire. I feel like cannon fire is going to come up in this conversation in just a little bit.
It sucks. I'm
Philadelphia.
not even talking about it. I mean, for this game, I'd have freaking serious cannons. Serious cannons.
Are they ever going to like fucking go off though? Is the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Tampa Bay is going to upset Philly. Philly and the Chiefs are out after this weekend.
Damn.
The 2 Super Bowl teams from last freaking year are gone.
I fucking love it.
Gone.
We're nowhere close to that yet. We're nowhere close to that yet.
What do you mean? I just picked.
You did.
Everybody knows.
Damn pick, but we're going to talk about both these teams a bit. Philadelphia, -3 once again.
Look like shit.
Talk about stumbling into the playoffs again. Jesus. 1-5. 1-5 in their last 6, Dan.
Sirianni looks awful. There's reports coming out about shit in the locker room. I mean, they're a mess. Team's a mess.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball for Philadelphia. I mean, the defense has been awful. Like, Dan.
Patricia.
Oh, yeah. And it was Sean Desai who came from the Bears at one point in time, and they kind of They gave him co-coordinator. They didn't relieve him completely of his position. Matt Patricia takes over the defensive play calling. I think it's gotten fucking worse. Fuck, I don't know. But Dan, 2 weeks ago, the Philadelphia defense gave up 35 points to the Arizona Cardinals. And then last week, the last week of the regular season, they backed it up by giving up 27 points to the New York fucking Giants, where they had a chance to win the fucking division outright. A Giants offense is no fucking juggernaut. I don't care if DeVito's playing or Tyrod Taylor's playing. What the fuck? 27 points to the Giants? I don't think the Giants scored 27 fucking points all fucking season in the National Football game. I mean, their defense has been really, really porous. I mean, I don't know. And then Hurts hurt his finger. I think he's fine. It was on his throwing hand.
Yeah, did you? It was.
But A.J. Brown, did you see that? A.J. Brown got banged up. I don't know what his situation is. I think he's probably going to play all hands on deck type of situation, which leads all hands on deck leads us to Tampa Bay and pirate shit, right?
Baby.
Let's talk about some pirate shit. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they win that dreadful, more pirate shit, dreadful NFC South at 9-8. This is their 4th straight appearance in the playoffs, though, largely attributed to Tom Brady, obviously. New football team, Baker Mayfield leading this football team. I liked this football team for a while until the last couple of weeks. I mean, I thought they were going to seal, 2 weeks ago, I thought they were going to seal that division with a win at home against New Orleans. They barely fucking cobbled any points together. And then, Dan, they went to Carolina last week. They had to win, right? 9-0. They didn't score a touchdown, Dan. What's wrong with this offense? Where did the offense go?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, is it Baker? I mean, they have Mike Evans. They have Chris Godwin. They have players.
I don't know. Maybe they're resting their guys, screwing around. I don't know. But I'm taking Tampa Bay in this one.
Scares the shit out of me. I'm going with Dan. Like, the dysfunction in Philadelphia.
It's a mess.
I think the dysfunction.
I wouldn't be surprised after this game if Sirianni's not fired if they lose.
No way, Dan. Come on. He's off a Super Bowl appearance the year before.
This dude is
fired.
He's fired.
Fired?
He got rid
Maybe staff changes, but fired?
He got rid of Super Bowl winning coach in what's his ass in Jacksonville, and then Andy Reid.
He lost both of his, henchmen, if you will, his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator. He lost Sean Steichen to Indianapolis, who had a very good season.
The other guy to
and then he lost
Arizona.
Yeah, Gannon, who got the head coach. He's the defensive coordinator in Arizona, and whatever season they had, it was marred. Obviously, Kyler Murray didn't play a large portion of it, but obviously there was a lot of changes. He's a young kid, man. I don't know. I think that's hasty in regards to Nick Sirianni to say like you're out type of thing. We're going to talk about different staff, on the offensive side, defensive side of the ball. I really doubt that happens. But Dan,
you got rid of Andy Reid in Philadelphia.
Nick Sirianni took him to a Super Bowl, Dan. They were this close.
Andy Reid took him to the AFC Championship how many times in a row, and they got rid of him. This guy lucked out, and they got to the Super Bowl.
You're a fucking head coach, Dan. Really?
That dude is not safe in Philly. I'm guarantee you.
Safer than
that owner.
Safer than a fucking Brinks truck, if you ask me. But Dan and I are both on Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Dan and I both think Tampa Bay is going to win this game outright. Can't fire. We both think they're going to win the football game, right, Dan? Money line. That brings us to Elephant Picks. It's got to be a candidate, but Dan also said some wild shit about Pittsburgh earlier. I'm going to scan the board in regards to what I think my favorite bet is. We'll go from there, but Dan had some really...
Cleveland, my money. Elephant pick. The Browns.
I know, man. There's only 6 fucking games here, man.
What was all the bullshit you were talking about?
I don't like any of the games. I think I'm rooting for all these games to be close. I think Buffalo blows the fucking shit out of Pittsburgh. I know Dan thinks they're going to possibly win the football game.
That's your elephant pick? You think they're going to win?
I'm going to leave the whole number. I'm going to lay the whole number. It was either them or I picked Green Bay so to be involved in that game. I don't know. I mean, this is hard stuff. But I think Buffalo blows Pittsburgh out. I think Pittsburgh is the worst team in the playoffs. And I think Buffalo's a proven, experienced playoff football team. I'm on Buffalo. Dan, your pick is Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay warm. Stay safe. We got some weather coming here. Fuck Jerry. Fuck Finn. Whoever the hell those people are in regards to the winter storms. We'll be back next week. I don't know how many games we got. 4 or 5? 6? We have 6 again?
We'll be drinking beer, picking them.
That's for sure. We've enjoyed ourselves for sure on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.